Vinyl Community Thread, Music on Film, DVDs Thread. Hello vinyl community, and I've been busy and I'm back. I've been seeing a lot of threads everywhere, competitions everywhere. Please stop it. No, okay. So I'm going to catch up with some threads, and I saw a while back a thread going around with music on film, DVDs, for a bit of a change. So I thought I'd show you what I've got. So I've only got a few things, so don't worry, it's not a long video. So we start off, where should we start? Let's start off in Manchester with John Sim and Paddy Constantine, 24-hour Party People. So it contains all the good music stuff. That's the story of kind of factory records and the hacienda. But I have to say it's sort of got a lot of comedy with it with Steve Coogan. It's all very tongue-in-cheek. So that's a good one to get. That's kind of freely available. So I would, if you want to learn about that era of UK music, say if you're a broad American, that's a good one to get. Following on from this, really love this one. This is, Sam Riley is really good in this. Samantha Morton, Control. So the story of Ian Curtis of Joy Division. Rather than being kind of one of these biopics that kind of blows things out of proportion, this is quite sort of real and down to earth, and try to sort of, I don't know, it's not sort of like eulogizing what went on, just telling what went on there. So it's a very good biopic, and I thoroughly recommend that one. Sometimes a lot of these DVDs are from charity shops. Got that recently, I'll be honest. So that's Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads. Basically a rundown of tracks there. Haven't seen it yet, so put in your comments if you'd recommend it. But yeah, £3, pre-town for what? And what else have we got? Icelandic band. I'm sure you all recognise that cover. If you don't, you'll recognise the band. I'm just taking them. So this is Heina, a film by Sigur Rós. Can you see it? I've got that upside down. Yeah, I have, haven't I? Sigur Rós. So that's a quite nice. So that's quite a nice double sort of DVD set, and features them in concert. And I think with this you get a little arty booklet. Paraphernalia there. Disc 1, random picture, presumably from Iceland. You really should do it in focus, shouldn't they? And disc 2. So, yeah, so I haven't watched that one in a while, but that's quite a nice concert in that one. Sun keeps going in and out. Then story of early John Lennon, Nowhere Boy. That's a very good film. I'm not necessarily one for remembering, but that's, you know, every detail about the film. But that's one from his childhood, John Lennon growing up. So it gives sort of the background to Lennon's Liverpool, and there's a nice scene. I think that's the one where he's like, they hop on top of the bus. So that's Sam Taylor Wood, who I think had an affair with the lead actor. Yeah, so if you're interested in the Beatles. Also, his Aunt Mimi, who I actually met Aunt Mimi, so that's a little known fact. Then we've got Martin Scorsese's picture biopic, No Direction Home of Dylan, with some special features on it. Full disclosure, I got this some years ago and I still haven't got round to watching it, but I saw it on TV and wanted to watch that. Reese Witherspoon, Joaquin Phoenix. So this is a portrayal of Johnny Cash and his relationship with June Carter. Walk the Line. I wouldn't say this is a great film, but it's quite well done if you're into Johnny Cash. 199, Led Zeppelin. The song remains the same. I've got the album of this, which apparently is not very good. But yeah, I've got the DVD. So there's the back of that. As you might expect, we come into a bit of Who. So we got the Kids Are Alright on DVD. And I've seen on YouTube, there used to be, I don't know if there still are, but there are so there are different cams of the Shepperton Studios performance. So so that's rather interesting. I wonder if this would make any good shorts. Anyway, also what we've got so we've got 4 hours of music and 3 hours of extra. Can't really complain. So this is the Who, Tommy and Quadrophenia live, and Tommy's from 1988-89, and you've also got lots of live tour stuff from 96, 97, different stadiums, 89, and this one is quite performances. You actually got Phil Collins, Billy Idol, I think that was the Quadrophenia ones, plus some of their greatest hits. Let's have a quick look inside. Yeah, so you got Quadrophenia live, you've got Tommy live, and the Who hits. So Quadrophenia live involves that, Tommy live like that, and then you've got the live hits on the back. So quite a good package. I think I got that one quite cheap as well. That'll keep me in shorts for quite a while, I think. Right. This one is from, this is the, I think the shorter DVD. So this is Pete Townshend's, sticking with the Who, Pete Townshend's music from Lifehouse. So this is a celebration of the music concert from 2000. But I think if you're interested in the Who and Who's Next, and you want to delve into Lifehouse and you want the complete lot, I think the Lifehouse Chronicles, which is like the bumper set, is the one to get with all the demos. This is a celebration concert. So we've got the track listing on the back here. However, I happen also to have the BBC Radio Collection play, which has the music and the play. So that's about 1 hour, something, or nearly two, getting on for 2 hours. So those combined are kind of halfway to the Chronicles. And last but not least, this was on telly a while ago, and if you've seen this, you've probably seen it once or twice or know about it. So this is the classic Who's film Quadrophenia. I didn't actually like this film too much when it came out, because I thought it was kind of betrayal of the order of the original Quadrophenia double LP. So, but actually, you know, they did do quite a smashing job of the portrayal of the story, and of course they just gave the director you know, free range to do it, and I think he did a good job. However, this was on, as I say, this was on TV a couple of weeks ago, and I spent about 30-40 minutes explaining how the order of the LP, had to explain that it wasn't from a novel to the partner, it was from an LP, and the order of the LP was different, so she's getting quite confused. So anyway, so it's the film portrayal of the story that was behind an album, and not necessarily of the album, if you see what I mean. So yeah, so that was quite interesting. What else we got? We got some soundtracks. Yes, so this is a rather beautiful film. This is Bjork, Dancer in the Dark. So this is a factory worker, sort of immigrant, who is starting to go blind, gets accused of something, rather unhappy ending, I think, on this one. But as it's Bjork, okay, she goes into sort of these musical fantasies, and it's just quite a lovely film all around. It's typical, as you might expect, typical Bjork hookup with Lars von Trier. I think it's Lars von Trier. Yeah, because I've got another one of his here. So this is one of his early, I think this is the last of the trilogy, Europa. It's not a musical DVD, by the way. I'm just chucking it in to make it look kind of like, you know, filmatic, clever, and trendy. But that's like a sort of, I think this one was famous, if you remember Schindler's List, it had lots of projection, black and white, and used black and white and colour, and little ideas that were later used by Spielberg in Schindler's List, or nicked. Lars von Trier as a director, I think probably that's his best work. But my favourite of his is Breaking the Waves. That's one of my all-time favourite films, but this comes a close second to that. But I think after that, I think it just all went downhill for him as a director. So, you know, The Idiots, was it Dogsville? I thought they were crap, really, but you know, you might put in the comments if you disagree. But yeah, that was good stuff. And Breaking the Waves, Europa is part of a trilogy. For the life of me, I'm not going to look up what the trilogy was. That's kind of like a psychological thriller, East European sort of Berlin Wall type thing on the train. Let's blow up the train. But I stuck that in. What else can I stick in to make myself look clever? Favourite song by Ultravox, the sort of the longer version, is Hiroshima Mon Amour. And I think this film went on to inspire the film, was it 12 Monkeys? So this is not a musical film, this is just me babbling, but the title was taken, of course, for the Ultravox song. Glen Hansard. I quite like Glen Hansard, and I like him with The Frames and is it The Swell Season? So I quite like this soundtrack. Once it's quite nice, lifted film. Really great opening scene. If you go on YouTube, look at the opening scene of Once, and of course the track. So yeah, so this is famous for the track. If I managed to get the track listing here, Falling Slowly. I really like the song Fallen from the Sky, and so When Your Mind's Made Up. So there's some good stuff on there. And again, I think Glen Hansard is underrated. And also check out, Marketa Iglova. So they had a real life kind of relationship that didn't work out. So it's kind of unrequited love. Always a good story. Got some DVDs lying around. Not musical, but Akira Kurosawa. Let's throw in a couple of my favourites, Kagemusha and Ran. Kagemusha is probably my favourite, one of my favourites from him, but actually I prefer Ran because of the cinematic nature of it, but that's nothing to do with music. What else have I got here? George Lucas's early film. Is it THX 1138? Don't see that very often. That must be a collector's item by now. Because actually I've got a couple more here. Bought this recently. I bought this for £1. Once upon a time in Hollywood. Again, to be honest, I haven't listened to this, but the soundtrack is kind of like Tarantino wanted 1969 or before, so the soundtrack kind of came first, apparently, when he was thinking up plotting for this movie, like Sharon Tate and what's his name. So have a look at that. Yeah, so just a quickie, I've got Peter Gabriel's LP, The Last Temptation of Christ, and I mean, that was a very interesting film, but William Dafoe kind of ruins it, and I think as he ruins everything, I think he's a crap actor. Perhaps more controversial was Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Passion of the Christ, I agree with Mike's Vinyl Spar. You can't read any of that, can you? Was it Jim Cavaliers, who I think did a really good job here? And the reason I mention this is it's because I'd like Peter Gabriel's soundtrack, Last Temptation of Christ, on this, which I think is a slightly better film, although both are very good films. So if you've been watching, if you know the channel Ranking the Obscure, Ian on Ranking the Obscure does a Thursday live stream, which I've been on a couple of times, and I noticed, quintessentially UK VC, UK vinyl community, there is a bit of kind of divergence away from music sometimes, it has to be said, into comedy. So I actually mentioned this, so I've got the British comedy Extra Rising Damp, one of the best British comedies ever. If you want to learn about British comedy, this is the thing to get a DVD set of Rising Damp. And Leonard Rossiter is so good in it. If you do like that, then you'll like The Rise and Fall of Reginald Perrin. So we haven't got around to watching this in the full set. This is the kind of like the continuation of Leonard Rossiter, but it's just absolutely brilliant. Bit of British comedy. What else did I get the other day? This was very cheap. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. £1, yeah, £1.50. So created by Douglas Abbadam. So this is probably my favourite version of that. So again, good old British comedy. Let's have a bit more comedy. If you facts times importance equals news, the day to day. Again, if you're into British comedy. So this is Steve Coogan and what's his name? Armando Iannucci and Christopher Morris is responsible for that. It was absolutely classic. BBC. Unfortunately, the BBC don't do comedy anymore. They've totally abandoned comedy. Another one I quite liked back in the day is The Mighty Boosh. So this is series 1 or 2. Again, British comedy. Although one of the actors is a bit washed up now on a cookery programme. And also got the Mighty Boosh live. And just last year when we were doing car boot sale, we got the Mighty Boosh special edition. So this is literally everything from the Mighty Boosh, and that was 50p, I think, at a car boot sale. So you can grab yourself a bargain. Other quintessential UK things for our sort of American and foreign viewers. The World at War, £1.99, just to take this in an obscure direction. So the complete 11 disc collector's set of the Wonder Woman. Oxfam's a wonderful thing sometimes, isn't it? If you are American and you like British Cold War spy, the best DVD you could buy would be the original Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy series with Alec Guinness. This is basically the bee's knees of spy thrillers, and it really shows. I watch this every year in winter when it's getting cold. I sit down and just watch this 1 or 2 every day, and if you want the follow-up, Smiley's People is almost just as good, not quite, but this is an absolute classic. Fuck me, what's the track listing? Fuck's sake. Fuck me. So there we are. I've done some music DVDs for this thread. I've gone completely off topic and just spouted a load of nonsense and shown you some UK comedy as well. So I'll hopefully touch base and a bit more and do some threads, maybe some competitions. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and thank you if you've recently subscribed. I've had a few subscribers since last time, but I'll be getting around to thanking you properly in due course. Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard. Goodbye.
Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard. Subscribe and click like or Kiwi Bird will eat.